you, Felicia. Thank you. Good morning, heart and soul. Good morning. Last week, I always like to begin, um, or I should say, I usually begin with a bit of a tag back to what we've been up to, just so, because there's a sense, at least for me, a bit of continuity. So I'm moving, and I guess I'm just kind of sharing my thought process, what's going on in my mind, and how I'm approaching it. Well, last week, because we were right after the 4th of July holiday, and there was so much energy around this notion of independence. And so I endeavored to, first of all, we were looking at in terms thematically of being free to choose and free to rise. Just individually and collectively having a clear sense of that. And what I shared was beginning with the Continental Congress and the Declaration of Independence from 1776, and we just looked at the wording of that, because the wording of that is the truth. And I also invoked, as our beloved Dr. Maya Angelou says, that sometimes the truth have to be delivered by a liar. And so sometimes what is not true in form holds the spiritual truth. And there's something about, well, this is an invitation for us to develop the discernment, the sense of clarity, so we can still be whole, even in the midst of an invitation to be less. Does that make sense? Because the world as we have created it, the world as we have participated and poured into and believed into, will forever invite us to forget who we are. And we'll either answer the invitation or we won't. It's entirely up to us, and dare I say, it can be a bit of a slippery slope for us to let go of the truth of our being by invitation to be less, to see ourselves at less. It doesn't change the truth about who you are and whose you are, but it will change the rhythm and rhyme of your life when you begin to believe you are not who and how you truly are. And some of us are sitting here today in that state of believing I am less than the truth of my being. I invite you to hang out with us. This could mean beginning, in 10 days, we'll be in summer school 2025. And so I invite you, it's a deeper dive from the inside out. And all work is done from the inside out. Lord knows we wish it weren't so. God, we wish we could just buy the book and not have to read it. Tell the truth. But or maybe even magically have the intention to buy the book and be transformed in the intention of I'm going to get that book because I see the quote that was in it. I know that would make a difference. So just the intention of buying the book. On our planet, some of us are really locked into believing that would transform my life. I'm going to get that book for sure. And every time it comes up, we repeat and affirm, I'm going to get that book. And somehow we magically think that we are being transformed in our idea of that. Now, there is some truth in that there is something in us that steps up as we step up. So when we announce that, something in us is like, yeah, let's get that book. But then when we don't get the book, it kind of relaxes with you. You ain't doing nothing, it ain't doing nothing. Make sense? So the idea here is I'm now just inviting you to be with us beginning next Wednesday, not this week, but next week, so that we can do these 4 weeks together of this deep dive of looking at how life gets to be the way it is. How are we how are we actualizing this principle of interdependence? And I'm going to begin today a little bit about interdependence, but I shared with you last week about Frederick Douglass on his famous July 5th, 1852 speech, where he says, you know, what is the 4th of July to the Negro slave? What is it? And so it challenges that Declaration of Independence. It really does. It challenges us to take a look. And then I couldn't resist reminding you that on the 4th of July in 1910, we have Jack Johnson, who is now fighting with, quote, the Great White Hope. And we get all of this. Ernest Holmes spoke on the 4th of July in 1937 and was talking about freedom and really replicated some of these same kind of themes of who are we and what is our independence and what is this notion of freedom, what's required of us. And then our member, Coach Keisha Mitchell, had published Claim Your Own Damn Independence on the 4th. And I couldn't resist bringing you that because it's a worksheet. It requires that you go in and fill in the blanks as you claim your independence. So if you got that, I'm hoping you're rocking with it. If you didn't, then we should have the link on our website as well. And so you'll be able to go there and get access to her template, her worksheet. So you can begin, you can see somewhere, there you go, there it is. That an example of that is I hold these truths to be self-evident. I am created whole, perfect, and complete. I am endowed by and then you call it by whatever name you call the divine. The living one, Olodumare. I don't know what you call it. God, Spirit, the divine, whatever it is, you fill it in for you, the Creator, with the inalienable right to what? To a peaceful life, to a prosperous life, to what is it that you're claiming for yourself? A purpose-filled life, healthy. Today and then you name your age, this is just for you. I acknowledge, like at this point, right now, I acknowledge that I've instilled, that I've done some stuff to me, that I put some stuff on my heart and in my mind. And I've made numerous life choices. So now this worksheet gives you an opportunity to be at choice. There's some things I've done, there's some things I've said, there's some things I believed. But beginning today, I'm choosing to shift that, to take dominion. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's a huge opportunity. This is just like the first little section of that. So today, I just want to expand our conversation with ideas of interdependence. That I want to remind you that true freedom, because that's what we're always in some way, even if we don't say the word freedom, it's a principle that we're invoking, always. And we want to acknowledge that true freedom emerges through conscious relationship. There's no way that you'll do your spiritual work and you're going to be the only free person on the planet, because you will not be free. So there's something about us ensuring not just our own individual freedom, not just our own individual health and well-being, not just our own individual prosperity, but our prayer is always for the highest and best for all concerned. And so our spirit is including that. Does this make sense? This notion of interdependence, that the opportunity for me to truly feel abundant, prosperous, has something to do with the people around me as well. Not as a weight, not as a restriction, but as the opening of my heart and my compassion and my empathy and my intention for the highest and best for all concerned. That I understand that the more that I am thinking this way, behaving this way, investing this way, the more it expands my good. Oh, I hope that makes sense. Because this aligns with spiritual law as we teach it and endeavor to practice it. Yeah? Yeah. So look, in all of this, Ricky Byers wrote a song, Use Me. And part of the lyric that I want to share with you about that is God is the love that heals all creation. Because often, I think this is essential because often when we begin looking at transforming our lives, it feels like such a tough nut to crack, yes. It feels like it's huge, like how can I begin? Not only how can I begin, but how can I continue? Because so many of us know how to begin. We set ourselves up, we get our little journal. I mean, we do all the setup stuff. The question is, how do I maintain the momentum? How do I get in it? And some would say it would be in this prayerful call to use me. Make me available to divine purpose. The lyrics that Ricky Byers wrote is, God is creator that makes all things new. That's the good news right there. Because that newness that we're wanting to make, this says you don't have to make it. You must be present to the Creator. You must be the place where the Creator can open into the newness, can pour the newness into you, your life situation, circumstance, that we're often blocking. We're often resisting. Does it make sense if I say it that way? So the lyric says, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. Use me. Brannis McKenzie and Thomas Hughes.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars, all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as I show you all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Yes, and God needs us to shine its light needs us to shine as light. God needs us to shine our light as me, as you. Use me. Oh God, I come for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
This is where the church says amen. Amen. Thank you, Brannis. Thank you, Thomas. Use me. Use me, oh God. I stand for you. And here I'll abide if you'll show me all that I must do. Now, what I love about that is it really illuminates that there's something for me. Sometimes in some teachings, it looks like just beseeching the divine is sufficient. Just asking. But this lyric reminds us that there's something for me to do. Use me for the higher purpose. Engage me in a way. Illuminate what is my life for. None of us, and really in the African tradition, let me just say, is this notion that nothing is just for the individual. That there's no individual that is so important that it's all about them. That there's something always about the interdependence. That there's something about that I have received, and I'm a part of this group, so what I have received, at least in part, is for us all. The acknowledgement, the joy, the light that shines on me, shines on us all. We're in this together. Does this make sense? This flies in the face of other cultural approaches where it can often be so separate, so removed, so individualized that sometimes we can forget and operate from this notion that we're in this for ourselves. Meaning solely for ourselves. So it doesn't discount that you must make a decision. You got to show up. So it really is from the inside out, which is an individual choice. But once you make the choice to play, you're in the game and on the team. This could be a foreign concept for some. Some could be, I came to challenge you. I was about to deny that, but that's my job. To challenge. So if there's a little head scratching going on, then good. Then we're moving in the right direction about how do I be me and be for the greater good simultaneously. If this is a new idea, it might sound like it's not doable. Like, really, for real, Rev, how do I do that? Well, it really is the human condition. So part of it is the surrender that Ricky Byers has written these lyrics about. It's the surrender. It's this notion of being available for something beyond just what occurs to us. I got this sense of sometimes when we talk about, or at least when I talk about how life gets to be the way it is, that's a big conversation. That's a huge idea. And sometimes in us talking about it, in our consideration of it, we are not necessarily thinking about our impact on our community Whatever community means to you, your neighborhood, your family, your voting district. For some, our community translates to the world. For some, but not for everybody. For many, when they say community, it's much more finite. But for some, it really is the universe. It's the world. It's how they're perceiving and how they're experiencing everything and everyone coming together. And their concern and love and empathy for what's going on universally, internationally, universally. Does that make sense? So you get in where you fit in. This is not me saying that whatever your sense of community is wrong or right. It is you. And it's appropriate because you cannot pedal any faster than you can pedal. So wherever you are, that's where you are. That's where you start. I think that's what I loved about this philosophy when I first began studying with no intention of ever being up here doing this. I didn't come to this intending to be a minister. I came to this wanting to save my life. I came to this teaching in a very dark place. So I was really searching for the light, just looking for another way. There has to be something else. So I came looking for what else can there be. So this idea of how life gets to be the way it is, what I learned right away is that how my life is has everything to do with me. And that was both the good news and the bad. Because I need just transparent. I didn't want to hear that. I wanted there to be a book, a teacher, a class. I wanted there to be something outside of me that if I engaged in that, if I paid money and bought the ticket and paid the tuition, I wanted it to be, what can I do? Or how can this be done for me? And then I realized that was really the good news. Because if in fact the solution was all external, I would have to always depend on something else, some other time, for it to come together so that I could have the transformation, the shifts in my life that I desired. So it wasn't good news at first. I'm not up here doing no pretense. At first it's like, I'm not liking this. Because it's looking like it's all about me. And that's what got me to that dark place, is that it was all about me. But once I engaged sufficiently and opened my mind and heart, I realized that was the best news I'd ever heard, is that it was up to me. And that I could determine my own outcome. Use me. But in order to be used, you got to open up and be available. See, that's the problem, isn't it? Or we'd all be there. But it's like, next week maybe. Maybe different. Where's the astrologically speaking, maybe out, this isn't the season for letting go. I'm gonna wait till the stars align and the planets align in another way, and then I will, or anything else. Whatever else that looks like, not like we do with diet. Yeah, I know, now I'm getting too personal, right? We're gonna do that later. I'm no longer gonna eat this, but today I'm gonna get it. But tomorrow I'll be vegan. Or maybe the day after. I know, we're not that far from the first of the month. We'll just start that on the first. You know how we do? Yes? So this is the invitation to tell the truth, to meet you right where you are, and to have an awareness of, as I look back in a Sankofa kind of way, when I look back on my life, I see the whole pattern of the delay, the procrastination, I'm going to do it later. Or maybe not at all. And then we get back in on the good foot at the first of the year, and then we peter out by Certainly by Valentine's Day, we don't even remember what we wrote by Valentine's Day. We don't even remember the resolution. I know this is my tribe. This is not the place to start acting like this ain't you. You know this is us. By Valentine's Day, when you meet up with whoever it was you were with on New Year's Eve, and they remind you're like, what? It's like a brand new idea, isn't it? Like, well, yeah, I could do that. Maybe I'll do it for Lent. Because we always have, there's always another. And that's okay. It's just that's not the way to transform your life. That's the way to continue. What's the axiom? If I always do what I've always done, I'll always get what I've always gotten. I'm just pausing now so we can take that in. Because this is us. So look, when I talk about this, I'm very visual, so I got this idea, and I just shout out to Sonia Russell because I described what I saw and what I wanted for an image. This idea of, I have a sense that when we speak to ourselves and others about our reality, when someone says, well, my reality is, sometimes it sounds like that has deep roots. You know what I mean? Like for the entirety, this is my 10th life living in this reality. I mean, like it's gone across lifetimes and generations or something. But in reality, sometimes this notion of my reality, I just got that this morning. This is like, the reality that I'm now nurturing in some new way. So that this image, let's see, if we'll go ahead and put the image up, how do we form our reality? This is my sense of it, that it's formed out of my emotions and my feelings. Do not discount that. Our feelings, that gut reaction, that where the hair stands up on the back of your neck, when you start feeling those things you feel that you then breathe some meaning into. Now, it's not necessarily the universal meaning. It's what it means to you. Something bad's going to happen. Now, it doesn't mean something bad has happened. And it also doesn't mean something bad is going to happen. It just means that that's what you're feeling. You're feeling something, and you have interpreted that feeling with a forward push. An interpretation of what that is. So our feelings are huge, and they run our lives more than we give them credit. They truly do. Our thoughts. Now, what I mean is, I want to almost say like our primary thoughts. And by primary isn't even the best word. Our repetitive thinking. That's what I really mean. Those thoughts that you have entertained enough, either length of time, kind of amount of time, length of time, or just with enough feeling. You see how the feeling part comes in? So it might be that you just started thinking this yesterday, but you have been thinking it so strongly. It's all in your gut. It's in your mind. That's what's cutting the groove. Does it make sense if I say it that way? So it's not that that the thought itself has any weight. We've given it weight by how we have the degree to which we've entertained it. We've entertained it so strongly that even sometimes in not fully entertaining it, it's like getting into the picture. Does it help if I describe it this way? That, this is my thought pattern. So I'm thinking about something else. Like, I'm on my way to lunch now, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to have. In comes this thought. Yes? Does it make sense to y'all? I'm not the only one, right? Right. So in comes this thought. But here's the thing. Often because we're operating out of our conscious awareness, we're not even aware. We forgot about that we were planning what we having for lunch. And so now this thought comes in, swoop, and just sucks up the energetic presence. And what you were going to have for lunch and where you were going is all secondary, if not tertiary, yes? And what is foremost in front of you is this thought, wicked in its nature. Yes, it's the one that has you, because if it's a positive thought that's going on, it's almost like lyrics to your favorite song. You just rock with that. But this thing takes you to another place, doesn't it? And however we might describe that place, it's not a productive place. It's not a place that supports your highest outcome. We don't have to name it. It's not a bad place. It's just not the place that you would choose if you were in your right mind. Meaning having the wherewithal to make a choice about it. Do you understand what I'm setting up here? When this happens, I was talking last week a bit about the crazy wall. And it's those thoughts that block you so that for me, I know I'm out of my right mind. That's not my right mind. Because see, I've had enough experiences with my right mind and it don't operate like that. It's not looking for the worst case scenario all the time. See, that's how you want to get a baseline. A positive baseline. This is why journaling can work for people. Because it gives you can see a baseline in that. You can see, well, this is where otherwise you could make up that this is your life. And then you start, this is why I call it the crazy, and I don't mean like I'm diagnosing or any of that. It's just my way of speaking with it, speaking about it in shorthand. It renders me incapable of making the quality decisions that I know I'm capable of. Because I have a baseline. I have a baseline of having forgiven. I have a baseline of having compassion. I have a baseline of empathy. So I can see, what is this I'm doing right now? This ain't that. Now, full transparency, partial disclosure. In those moments, I at least want to recognize that I'm not where I intend to be. Now, that doesn't mean I rise above it and off I go, a whole new me. It means at least I know I'm not in my right mind. And when I know that, when I have that awareness, I then can begin to make the kinds of changes, the kind of choices as best I can. It's not going to be my best work, but it's a start. You understand what we're saying here? It's a start, y'all. It's a place that at least it's that beginning of a turn. I'm not going the direction I was headed. Because like the prodigal daughter, I came to myself. I came to myself. And I realized for me, that moment is like, and forgive me, but part of the way I work with me is in exaggeration. So for me, my prodigal daughter, when I think about I exaggerate it because I want to see it in a way that moves me. So in my mind, my prodigal daughter awakens in a crack house. But awakens, you hear that? And I realize, what the hell am I doing here? And do you understand that out of that is the motive? It's almost like, and let me get up out of here quick. And that's the moment. So for me, having never been in a crack house, and even if I had been, it wouldn't matter. So it's not that. It's just that for me, that's like a huge picture. one that only exists in my mind, but I'm like, okay, is that a place you gonna stay? And because I make it that extreme, the answer's easy. No. Now, there's some other choices I might, like if I kept it more tame and I thought, well, is it at the meat eaters retreat or is it at the vegan retreat? I might hang out someplace I don't really intend to be if I don't exaggerate it enough so that it's really clear about get up out of here. You awaken to your true self. That's what that prodigal son, that prodigal daughter message is. It's that it's an awakening where you realize you've been living a certain way. And it doesn't matter how long. It might have been that you were just there for a day, not even a full 24 hours. Or it might be that it was 24 days, 24 weeks, 24 years. I don't know how long, but I'm coming to you today say, in one sense, it doesn't matter. Because in a moment, you're making a decision about how to be. Yes? So we're looking at this notion of my reality. What forms my reality? Well, my thoughts do. But again, it's not every thought you had. Like one of my favorites is winning the lotto. Is there anybody who's never thought about winning the lotto? It ain't that thought. Because that thought, especially since you don't have a ticket. Now, if you at least had a ticket, it would have a little more of a groove in it. But this notion of you gonna win the lotto and you don't even have a ticket, it ain't those kind of thoughts. And often I think that helps people to be clear. It's not just all of the bevy of thoughts that you have. It's the ones that you've really invested in. It's the ones that have sufficient weight and investment of your time and energy and your emotions. Yes, it's those thoughts. And it's also your attitude about it. There's an attitude that is welcoming and inviting for your highest and best. And there's an attitude that is pretty much a form of rejection of your highest and best. Yes? So it's not anyone else judging you. Remember, you're getting your baseline. How am I when I'm receptive to my highest and best? That's not the same as when you not receptive to your highest and best. And everybody can think of an example where you know that offer was for your highest and best and you declined it. Yeah? Okay. So not a criticism. You just want to have that awareness that there's a way you are in declining your good, and there's a way you are in total receptivity to your good. Yes? You want to know what that is. That's the attitude. And then there are your reactions and responses. Sometimes we think that because it's a visceral response, that's our excuse. Well, I'm just like that. Anytime that's an opportunity to look at that. If anytime that happens, you go off, that's about you. It's not about what happened. That's about your reaction. And I don't want us to confuse reactions with responses. But they're in that same realm. Yes? Okay. All right. We're just beginning with this. So no doubt, there are those who say I'm a serial preacher, so we're going to be here again, no doubt. So look, it's also my perceptions. It's how do I see this? What does this mean to me? Because it's just an experience until I give it meaning. You see, it's an experience, but the meaning I give it is, that means I'm not worthy. That's why they didn't choose me. Or they just want to use me, that's why they chose me. You see, it's just, whatever it is, I'm making it up. I'm giving some meaning to whatever the experience is, but the meaning really only exists in me. Okay, these people get it. See, all of this is from the inside out. My perception, emphasis on my. And who here hasn't had the situation where when you finally get around to telling someone what happened in your perception of it, they are looking at you, you're like, what? I never thought that about you. I never. Well, you said, but listen to what you said I said. None of what I said what you concluded, what you perceived about it. Is there anyone who hasn't had that experience? Where you go, you finally, it could be years later, you finally say, well, now, that time when and they are looking at you like, that never happened. And then you, because you continue in your persistence with this, they get the situation. But they had an entirely different experience and perception. Yes. Oh, this is an opportunity for us. And then it's what we believe about that. What do we believe about that? Have we concluded that we're not worthy? Have we concluded that because that happened that time, that's always the way it's going to be? I'm talking to you this morning. Have we concluded that because X, always Y? What is it we believe? Because all of that, how we feel, how we're thinking, our weighted thoughts, our attitude, our reactions and our responses, our perceptions and our beliefs form our reality. That's all it is. What we call our reality is just this mixture of stuff that we concocted. Now, you know what we're going to do? Pam, make a note for me, please. Reality should not be capped. My reality is a lowercase r reality. Y'all get it? Because there really is a reality. That's what, when I started to say that, I thought, oh, I need to differentiate. There really is a reality. And it's the divine reality. That it ain't done till it's done. Yes? And that you that you can intercede in any moment. Oh, there's so much more. But you know what? We're not doing it today. We're not doing it today. Because why? I have changed my ways. We no longer going to have Sunday retreats. I'm doing a whole other thing that I wasn't even going to tell y'all about. So, look here. There's this Peter, Paul, and Mary wrote a song long time ago that was all the rage for all the right reasons about how we can be, how we can take dominion. So this notion, it's entitled, If I Had a Hammer. And so what I've come today to say in introducing this song that Brannis and Thomas are bringing us is that you do have a hammer. That your word of truth is that hammer in your life. Does that make sense? And that the call is for you to use your word of truth, to speak it in the morning, to speak it in the evening, all over this land, to speak out danger, to speak out warnings, to speak of love between our brothers and our sisters, all over this land. So, Brannis McKenzie and Thomas Hughes.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, rub it in the evening, all over this land. brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, ring out warning, ring out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, sing out warning, sing out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Now I've got a hammer and I've got a bell and I've got a song to sing all over this land. I've got a hammer, justice, a bell of freedom, and love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land, over this land. Come on with me now. Now I've got a hammer, a bell, and a song over, 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 over this land, over, over, over this land. Yeah, over this land. Come on, we gotta do it. Over this land. I'm even gonna let you sing with me. Over this land. Over this land. Come on, over this land. Over this land. If I can't hear you sing it, then that means you're not going to be doing it. Over this land. Over this land. Over this land. The land starts with us. Over this land. Ourself. Over this land. Over this land. Amen.